Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, you guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. AEW Dynamite live from Cleveland, Ohio tonight. Shout out to one of my friends on Twitter, Noah Foster from No DQ, who's in attendance at tonight's Dynamite in Cleveland. I hope he had a blast at Dynamite tonight. AEW Dynamite tonight was fun. It was a fun show. I feel like that there wasn't a breakout moment or a breakout match. I mean, the matches were good, but I mean, I don't know. It just didn't feel like a eye opener, I guess you could say. Like we had the Young Bucks versus Blade and Butcher. It was good, solid. But we had probably that 6-man tag. That was probably the best match of the night, which I'll go over. But I feel like there wasn't a big eye opener headline for the show. I guess the stuff with Moxley and Jericho or the main event or the match with Sabian and Cody, who knows? But I mean, it just felt. The show overall, I'm not saying it was bad. It just felt like there wasn't any memorable moments. Like the past few weeks, we've had the Moxley cracking the bottle of champagne over Jericho. Bash at the Beach, we had the Inner Circle take out Moxley, and last week we had Moxley and Pac and Hangman and Kenny become tag team champions. Last week's episode of Dynamite was probably one of the best episodes they've ever done, in my opinion. But this show tonight, it was fun for what it was. I'm not saying it was spectacular or great or something. It was fun. I had a fun time watching. The pacing was very nice for this show as well, so that's a huge positive. But before I start talking about tonight's AEW Dynamite, make sure you guys go check out last week's reviews right here on the Big Field channel. We got Worlds Collide review from Saturday night, and we got the mini version of a Royal Rumble review that I did on Monday. So if you haven't checked it, go check them out. I would really appreciate that. Without further ado, getting tired, man. So, and I got a benchmark tomorrow. So let's dive right into this, so I can get out here, get some rest, and take my benchmark tomorrow, and then come back on here for NXT for you guys. Jon Moxley was the first thing out of the show. He comes out to big Moxley chants this course because the show's in Cleveland, Ohio. He first says Jericho's the final obstacle from him in the AEW World Championship. Jericho's the type of man who does 5-on-1 beatdowns all the time. He said he is far from perfect and didn't come to AEW for just money. He sees Jericho as a manipulator and a bully, and Moxley hates bullies. Really does. He said he will take the AEW Championship from Chris Jericho on February 29th at AEW Revolution. Moxley finally calls out Chris Jericho as the crowd sings Judas for a second week in a row. You gotta love that, man. That is just an amazing hearing, to hear the crowd sing Chris Jericho's theme song. You gotta love it. It's like the crowd singing Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song, I guess. It's just fantastic. It really is. Jericho said you earned a spike to the eye, and he deserves it. All he had to do was say yes, and he said he looks like Jack Sparrow, and he kind of does. He then brings up Moxley's mom. That he brought up Moxley's mom, saw Jon Moxley's mom backstage, and told her what happened, said it was his fault. All he had to do was say yes. So I chuckled a bit. He said he doesn't have what it takes to blink with both eyes, and he's teasing a fight between himself and Moxley, and he tells Cleveland to go to hell. He said, Moxley said, well, before that, Jericho brings out the Inner Circle, and they tease a 5-on-1 fight. So he said it's not 5-on-1, and gets a great pop from the crowd. He said it's the Inner Circle versus Moxley and Cleveland. And then all of a sudden, 5 Bronx guys, 5 guys from the Bronx, no idea who they are. They just come out and stand with the Inner Circle. And the Inner Circle and those guys, they just start brawling. Jericho takes out Ortiz with a paradigm shift. He then takes out the Bronx guys. He takes out Santana and officials, agents, referees. They all come down, break this up. This was a really awesome segment to start AEW Dynamite tonight. A great promo from Jon Moxley. You see what the man does when he doesn't have a script handed to him. He is really creative and can come up with a great segment. This was awesome. This was a great way to start off AEW Dynamite, and it set up a match for next week's Dynamite in Alabama, or Huntsville, Alabama, with Jon Moxley and Ortiz. So, that should be cool. We got Blade and the Butcher versus the Young Bucks, with the Young Bucks winning in about 12, 13 minutes. Good match for what it was. MJF during the commercial breaks, man, absolutely hilarious. He's talking to these guys, and a girl is with him, and the girl kisses him on the cheek, and he's going crazy. He then walks up to this guy who's got a poster, talks trash. Wardlow takes his poster, rips it up. The next guy MJF goes to, he takes his wallet. He takes a $5 bill out of his guy's wallet. He pretends to sign it, his autograph on it, and rips it up and slaps this dude in the face. I laughed so hard. This guy seriously makes me laugh every single day. And if MJF came up and slapped me in the face, I would be pretty angry myself. But the match with the Blade and the Butcher versus the Young Bucks, I mean, it was good, I thought it was good. I felt like Blade and the Butcher could have used some more offense. Butcher took a lot of super kicks, DDTs. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is about Blade and the Butcher. They're putting on good matches, but they're just not clicking for me character-wise, because they lose a lot. Maybe, I don't know, man. They just look very weak since their debut in AEW. I mean, yes, the Young Bucks should have won this match, and they did. But, I mean, the Blade and the Butcher, they looked weak in defeat, I think. I don't think they looked that strong. But, I mean, they got some nice offense in the beginning. Butcher, I really like the Butcher, man. I really do. He looks very unique. He's a monster. He looks like a monster. They look like horror characters. It's just something's not clicking with them. I feel like they are a good tag team to push. They are both really good wrestlers. It's just they need to start winning matches. They can't keep losing these matches when they're looked at as a big deal. They were first looked at as a big deal by attacking Cody. And they feel like they just feel like another tag team on the roster, you know? Towards the end, Young Bucks super kick the Butcher out of the ring. They set up the Blade for a Meltzer driver, and 1, 2, 3, the Young Bucks get the victory over Blade and the Butcher. By the way, MJF on commentary for this, absolute pure gold, roasting Tony Schiavone and saying that You shouldn't be laughing that I got thrown into a pool last week because I can't swim. All that stuff. It was pretty funny. At the end, the Blade and the Butcher, they attacked the Young Bucks after the match because they lost. Kenny Omega comes out, gives the Butcher a V-trigger, and then Hangman Page comes out with a beer, of course. Gives the beer to Matt Jackson. He says, "Let me do this buckshot lariat to this." I'm not gonna curse on here, but this mother, you know. Gives him a buckshot lariat, takes the beer, chugs it, and leaves the ring. That was awesome. That was a nice spot. I'm loving Hangman Page these past couple weeks, man. I'm absolutely loving him. Next week, on Dynamite from Huntsville, Alabama, we're getting an 8-man tag with Young Bucks teaming up with Kenny Omega and Hangman Page to face Blade and the Butcher and the Lucha Brothers. So, Lucha Brothers teaming up with Blade and the Butcher. That should be quite interesting. Nyla Rose versus Big Swole. This was decent. This was, again, a good match. Nothing special. Nyla Rose won at the end with a sit-out powerbomb to Big Swole after Swole tried to hit Rose with her elbow, and Rose caught her and gave the sit-out powerbomb for her victory. But first I'll talk about Big Swole, then I'll talk about Nyla Rose and what they're doing with her. I love Big Swole. I really do. If it wasn't for Chris Statlander or Hikaru Shida, she would probably be my favorite wrestler in the AEW Women's Division. It's just, she is so charismatic. She's very hard hitting in the ring. I gotta tell that. Seeing her matches on AEW Dark with Diamante, that was a really good match, and she's looked very impressive in my eyes. And I love to see more of Big Swole. I really would. She's very charismatic, and she's very hard hitting. I gotta love her. But then Nyla Rose, it seems like they are setting her up to face Riho for the AEW Women's Championship at Revolution. Now, nothing against Nyla Rose. I like Nyla Rose, but didn't we already see Nyla Rose versus Riho on the very first episode of Dynamite back in October 2nd? I don't want to see it again. I just don't. You got two legit women in the women's division, and Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. Build one of those women up and have them face Riho at AEW Revolution. That's not going to happen. It's probably going to be Nyla Rose, and Nyla should probably take the title off of Riho. Should take the title off of Riho. Kip Sabian versus Cody. I was really looking forward to this match, and at the end, I thought we got a really good match out of this. How did we get there? I'll tell you right now how we got to the ending result of Kip Sabian versus Cody. The bell rings, Kip Sabian goes right after Cody with a shotgun drop kick. Kip gives Cody a backbreaker to the stomach, so Cody is selling the stomach early. Kip gets into it with Arn Anderson on the outside, and then moments later, Cody is getting ready to punch Kip Sabian, accidentally hits Penelope Ford, so she goes down, pushes Kip Sabian away. He goes to check on Penelope Ford, lifts her up. Sabian gives Cody a kick to the head, and Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford were playing possum the entire time to Cody, and they kissed, and then they went into commercial break. Cody does 10 punches, Sabian counters, and Cody gives him a power slam. Penelope Ford takes off Cody's belt, and then he's trying to get his belt back, and with her doing that, he decides to give Kip Sabian a disaster kick. So then this is where controversy if the match starts. Um, um, Penelope Ford is trying to throw her shoe at Cody, and she misses. And Arn Anderson goes to pick it up, and he gets all pissed off at the ref. Why is she throwing her shoe at Cody? He said that should be a DQ, or ref should kick her out. So he's getting in a pretty tense argument with Bryce Remsburg right here, and he's in his face, and his face is getting red, and he bumps into Remsburg, and Remsburg's like, "I'm the official of this match. You can't touch me. Get out." So Bryce Remsburg ejects Arn Anderson out of the ring. He's pissed off. Cody says it's okay. I got this. They talk over the game plan, and once Cody turns around, Penelope Ford gives Cody a Hurricane Rana. Moments later, Sabian and Ford, they're on the barricade. They go to kiss. They got their eyes closed, and all that pops up is Joey Janela. They open their eyes, and Kip Sabian is kissing Joey Janela on one cheek, and Penelope Ford is kissing Joey Janela on the other cheek. They're pissed. Janela goes running off, and then Cody gives Sabian a suicide dive. Cody goes for a second rope diamond cutter and gives Kip Sabian not one but two crossroads to send a message to MJF. And 1, 2, 3, Cody gets the victory over Kip Sabian in this match. This was a really good match, a really good story told match between Cody and Kip Sabian, with the story being Penelope Ford trying to interfere with helping Kip Sabian, and Arn interfering, trying to help for Cody, or trying to coach Cody up. But I feel like the storytelling in this match was on point the entire time, and that's what made me love it so much. Cody winning with the two crossroads sends a message to MJF, and it makes Kip look good in defeat, because it shows you that Cody couldn't beat Kip Sabian with one crossroads. He had to do it twice. So I really like that concept, and I want to see more of Kip Sabian. I'm really liking this guy. I know people are like, this guy's kind of boring and stuff, but he is a really good wrestler, and he is impressing me. Britt Baker cuts a promo. It was a good promo. I'm not going to talk about this long just to save time, but she cut a good heel promo, I guess, talking about how Jim Ross cut her off last week and said how he's no longer a legend, and all this barbecue sauce stuff, and he can't even pronounce the wrestlers' names right. And then he talks about how she is the dentist and she's the first woman signed in the women's division. She talks about Riho and her absence. So the promo was fine, I guess. I just wanted to. I don't want to say rush through it, but get it done fast so that I could save time for it not going over 30 minutes. And next week we get Britt Baker versus Yuka Sakazaki making her AEW Dynamite debut. Should be good, I guess. SCU versus the Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Angelico. It felt like in forever that we never seen Jack Evans and Angelico. Or at least I haven't, because I haven't been watching AEW Dark recently. But like what I said, I did watch that Big Swole Diamante match. So. But SCU versus the Hybrid 2. Speaking of AEW Dark, this did feel like an AEW Dark match in my opinion. Yeah, the action was good, and it made a solid match overall. But was it me, or was the crowd just dead for this? Like, it felt like they did not care at all what was happening with SCU and the Hybrid 2. Before I talk about the match, much respect to SCU. Much respect to all three of them, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, and Christopher Daniels. for wearing Kobe Bryant jerseys to the ring in honor of Kobe Bryant. Such respect. I have so much respect for SCU for doing that. I can't express my feelings enough on that. But yeah, this was a good match for what it was, and Helico and Jack Evans got some nice offense in, taking care of Scorpio Sky early, and then Frankie Kazarian coming in like a house of fire, knee strikes, Jack Evans giving Frankie Kazarian a double stomp to the back, with then him putting his feet up, but Scorpio Sky came back to push his feet, and then Sky takes out and Jack Evans with a dive over the top rope, tags in Frankie Kazarian. They do SCU later, 1, 2, 3, and SCU get the victory over the Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Angelico. Like I said, solid in-ring action. This felt like a match from AEW Dark. It felt like the crowd was quiet during this. And SCU got the win. But it wasn't mostly about the match. It was about the aftermath with the Dark Order with Evil Uno saying, the Exalted One was very angry at you, that you did not take the offer of the Dark Order. And when he finds you, he will unleash. And for that, we will go after your friends and your family. And he asks Stu Grayson who he wants to take out first. He says he don't care. And he snaps his fingers. And the screen says joindarkorder.com. So it felt like we were getting Dark Order versus Young Bucks in a program. But I don't think that's going to happen now. I think it's going to be SCU and the Dark Order in a program. And we're probably going to get, it's just a prediction, Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team titles at Revolution. Either the Young Bucks or the Lucha Brothers. It'll be one of them two. Main event. Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party, Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and Darby Allin. And this was once again, a really good main event, a really good 6-man tag with Inner Circle getting the victory over Private Party and Darby Allin, with Chris Jericho delivering one of his best Judas effects he's ever had on Isaiah Cassidy. He sold that perfectly. He just was doing a move. Jericho hit him with the Judas effect, and Cassidy sold it perfectly. His hand was shaking, and that was awesome. We got some very nice offense with Private Party and Santana and Ortiz during the match. We got a nice exchange from Darby Allin and Chris Jericho. That brought back memories, man. That brought back memories when I was at AEW Dynamite October 16th with Eddie Mullins, and we saw Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship in a street fight. That brought back memories from that night. I'm thinking about it, I miss it. I really miss it. But Darby Allin was awesome in this match, getting a hot tag, going after Santana and Ortiz, going after Jericho, doing his fast suicide dive to Jericho, and then doing his coffin drop to Jake Hager. Mark Quinn going to top rope dive onto Santana and Ortiz. Isaiah Cassidy, Swanton Bomb onto Jericho for a close 2. And then, like I said, the Judas effect executed perfectly. 1, 2, 3. Inner Circle get the victory over Darby Allin and Private Party in a really good 6-man tag team match. After the match, Inner Circle take out Private Party, but they mostly take out Darby Allin with Jake Hager giving him a knee to the balls. Jericho gonna hits him with the AEW Championship like it's a steel chair, and then Sammy Guevara hits Darby Allin with his skateboard, and then puts a skateboard right here on his throat and digs it to the mat. So we could see Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara at AEW Revolution. Something I would really like to see, and I feel like that would be a great match. And I feel like that'd be a great match between Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. That is my AEW Dynamite review right here on the Big Fight Field channel tonight. Like I said, it was a fun episode to watch, nothing special, and we'll just have to see what happens on the road to AEW Revolution. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Guys, we are only 4 followers away from halfway to 100. I really want to get to 100 subscribers so that I can start allowing guests come onto the show, something I would really love to do. For stuff like AEW Dynamite review or NXT review or a pay-per-view review or pay-per-view predictions, I would love to have guests. So I'm not going to do it until I get to 100 subscribers. So let's get to 100. Comment down below what you thought of this week's episode of AEW Dynamite live from Cleveland. Like this video with a super kick, and follow me on Twitter at Joseph Conlon, and follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins. I'll be back right here tomorrow in the Big Fight Field for your NXT review. We got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals, and Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, and also Adam Cole's opponent revealed for NXT TakeOver Portland in 3 weeks. Wink, wink. I already know who it is. Have a good night, guys.